Hello and welcome to day 21 of our December daily draw. Today we are going to be drawing Santa Claus. So let's go ahead and get started by taking out that blank piece of paper. And I also want you to be using a pencil, but I'll be using a Sharpie so you can see my lines. Make sure your paper is vertical, which means up and down. And since today is the 21st of December, we're going to make sure we know that by first drawing that square and then adding a 21. Now you can write those numbers as fancy as you'd like, or you can just keep them nice and simple. But I'm going to make them just a little bit fancy. All right. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to start drawing Santa Claus's hat. So first, we're going to just draw a curve on the left and a curve on the right. Now for the most part, whatever we're doing on the left side, we're also doing on the right side, except for the top of Santa's hat. So we do need to draw that rainbow curve to connect. Now since my 21 is somewhat in the way, first, I am going to draw a curve here. I'm going to do the same thing on the right side, only I'm going to hop over my box since I don't have that much room. Curve down and up. Then I'm going to go to the left side, curve down and up. Make sure that they don't connect because we do need to add the circle at the end. Now, we are going to start drawing the rest of the hat as well as Santa's face. So, give yourself some nice room to draw that letter C and that backward C. So those are the ears. And you can add just a nice little rainbow on each of those. So that way it's the top of the ears. Now on the top of the left ear, you're going to draw that rainbow all the way to the right ear. All right, let's draw the sides of Santa's face by drawing a line here and right there. And then I'm just going to curve down to add those cheeks. So it's like his cheekbones when most people smile, they have just that little bit of cushioning. I believe it's called the apples of your cheeks. Now we're going to be drawing those eyes by drawing a circle and another circle. Another circle with a U. Another circle with a U. You can make those eyes as big as you'd like, or you can have them small like mine. But I am going to add a curve underneath again, so it's like you smiling, so when people smile, their eyes get a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to add some lines here. There are some wrinkles. They also call those crow's feet. Then for the eyebrows, we're going to draw those curves and then curve down and down, down and down. All right, we're going to add that nose next, but first we're just going to draw a U-shaped curve like a smile. So right now Santa looks a little bit silly, but to make it look like a nose, we're going to draw a letter C and a backward C. So that way those are the nostrils on the sides. And now we'll add first his mustache. Kind of looks like a Cap'n Crunch mustache by curving up and up. And then you're going to curve down back to the bottom middle of the nose. And same on the right side. So yes, he does look a little bit like Cap'n Crunch. So we're just going to add a smile and the bottom lip. So this area right here, we are going to color that in. So you could leave it just like a nice little closed smile, but I like it to have a little bit open. Let's go ahead and add some of his hair. by going to the bottom left ear and drawing that line, and same on the right. Now at this point, still whatever we're drawing on the left, we're also doing on the right side. So curve up and in, curve up and down, up and down. Same on the right side, up and down, up and down, up and down. And let's not forget those shoulders. So this is part of his long hair. So we're going to draw a curve on the left and the right. And there is our Santa Claus. So you can leave it like this if you'd like to, or you can outline it as well with Sharpie, or you can also color it in. So I'm going to be coloring mine. I'm going to be using markers to outline actually. So I'm just going to put my Sharpie aside. Again, you can use whatever art materials you would like. But I'm just going to go ahead and first outline that box. Because today is December 21st. Again, you can use any colors you'd want for this. I'm sticking with my Christmas colors of red and green. And I'm just going to fill that in with those nice long strokes. All right. Now I'm going to work on one color at a time. So first I'm going to be using that red for the areas that need to be red. Now again, you can use whatever art materials you'd like. I really like using markers. And right here is part of his shoulders. Excuse me. Now I'm going to take some gray. The gray is going to be for the white parts of his hat and his hair and beard. So I'm just going to outline that. As well as his eyebrows. And his hair here. And his beard. All right, once you're done with that, I'm actually going to be taking my black Sharpie, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to only outline part of his eye, not the curve at the bottom. I'm actually going to draw in just a small pupil. I do want some of that highlight in his eye in. That's optional. You don't have to add that if you don't want to. And now I'm going to be taking a peach color. This one is called Sandy Tan, so I'm using my Sandy Tan to outline the rest of Santa Claus. Now I am going to be using pink for that mouth, but I will be using this color for his bottom lip right there, and also for his crow's feet. Now, right now I'm just going to fill in the rest of his eyes, but make sure not to fill it in completely. Make sure to have a little bit of white right there. And then I'm going to take my pink and fill in that mouth. So it looks like he's whistling almost. All right, the first thing now, what we need to do is put our markers away, and we're going to be taking out our chalk pastels. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in part of that background very, very carefully. Don't want to get any of that blue on my Santa Claus. Now, you don't have to fill in that background if you don't want to. That's up to you. And I'm just going to very carefully get as close as I can to Santa Claus. Now if you wanted to add a little bit more to that background, maybe you wanted to add some snowflakes, you could also do that as well. Now if you find that you got a little bit of that chalk dust on any areas you don't need, you can easily take that eraser and erase it off. All right, now I'm going to be using my red. Well, for my red, I'm just going to pinch and pull on the hat first. And then I'm going to blend. I'm not quite done with my red yet, not only because of the shoulders, but I do want to add a little bit of shading to his hat. So first I'm just going to get as close as I can to those red lines. And just make sure you don't have any white spots. If you need to go back over and do some more pinching and pulling, you can go ahead and do that. Then I'm going to be taking that red again. This time I'm going to go underneath and add that shading, go up and down. And if you need to, you can tap that dust off onto the table. All right, let's go ahead and add some red to the left side and the right side. Be careful around that beard though, but you can always erase that chalk dust. Just be very, very careful though. All right, so I'm getting as close as I can to that beard. And if you need to add more chalk dust, you can go ahead and do that. But like I did with the hat, I'm actually going to go back over and underline the bottom of the beard. And then I'm going to take my one finger, blend back and forth, and do the same thing on the other side. So that way, has that nice little shadow right there. And at this point, you can also go through and blend and just make sure to tap that dust onto the table. Also make sure to clean your finger if you have some wet wipes, because now we're going to be moving on to his face. Now for his face, I do have a tan right here. I do like to add just a little bit more color to that face though, just so it's not too overly pale. So I'm just going to be taking some tan. Actually, I'm going to be taking this color, pinching and pulling ever so slightly. Going around as close as I can, and then I'm going to blend. And I'm getting as close as I can to my eyes and my nose and beard. Now it's still looking a little bit too light, so I'm just going to go over again, add more color. And blend. Now, just to make sure that he looks very happy, you're just going to get a little tiny bit of red and ever so gently put some red on those cheeks. You can even put a little bit on his nose if you would like to. And take one finger and blend in a circular motion. And on the nose, go back and forth. Now, one last thing before we're done with our picture is we do need to add some shading to the beard and hair. So, I'm not going to be using gray. I am actually going to be using this blue. And I'm just going to ever so gently add some shading underneath the mustache, underneath here on the beard, on both sides, and here as well. And then I'll put that away and take one finger and just go underneath very gently and blend. You could use some gray if you'd like to. I do like the blue though, it just makes it look a little bit more uniform, especially with that blue background, but you can use whatever colors you would like. Also, I'm just going to add a little bit of blue to the sides here and here and underneath that circle. And I will blend. And if there's anything else that you would like to add to your picture, you can go ahead and do so, but that was our final step for learning how to draw Santa Claus. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.